You need to turn yourself into the Washington County Jail. I'm not even addressing the attorney issue at this point.
Your Honor,
you have counsel.
And if Ms. Richards is a high-risk pregnancy, then why is she testing positive for drugs?
I still, at that point, don't have any tests. No test, no test, no test. She needs to appear here. She needs to report to the Washington County Jail by 6 p.m. on the 17th of May. That is tomorrow. Otherwise, a bench warrant will issue.
Your Honor.
With no bond.
Your Honor. I have tested since I had that diluted screen.
I don't have any tests. I'm not playing by her rules anymore. We're going to play by mine. I've been as lenient as I possibly can.
This defendant is playing a risky game with the court, hiding behind her high-risk pregnancy while straight up ignoring the rules of her bond. She completely disappeared and skipped her required drug test for months. And when she finally showed up, she turned in a sample that was obviously messed with. The judge has been trying really hard to work with her, but his patience is totally gone now. You honestly have to ask if she thought being pregnant meant she could do whatever she wanted. D.O.U. Guys think the judge is right to put her in jail right before her baby is due. Because that's exactly what might happen here. Let's get into it.
With her on behalf of the people.
Mike Gaddy, Assistant Public Defender on behalf of Ms. Richards, Your Honor.
Ashley Richards.
Ms. Richards hasn't been testing. What are we going to do on this? She hasn't been testing, and there's a current bench warrant out for her with no bond.
Had a discussion with Ms. Richards. She had expressed some dissatisfaction with my office in general and me specifically. I don't know if she's wishing to ask the court for a new attorney. I do have some information that I can immediately refer to the court, but I didn't want to do that if that's the case, since I wouldn't want to step on a new attorney's toes in terms of what they wanted to do.
And Your Honor, no, regardless of what Ms. Richards' problems are with the public defender, she has failed to report. She's missed several tests starting from February to April 11th, and then was positive on April 17th and April 24th, and she has an active warrant.
As I said, Judge, I have a test as recently as May 2nd that I can provide to the court immediately, along with some other documentation. Again, I just didn't, given the nature of our last conversation, I didn't know quite how to proceed.
Ms. Richards?
Yes?
You haven't been going to testing, according to what I have. I've issued a bench warrant out for no bond. You need to turn yourself into the Washington County Jail. I'm not even addressing the attorney issue at this point.
Your Honor.
You have counsel.
Your Honor, as I said, I have a test from as recently as May 2nd from her primary care physician. She is currently in a high-risk pregnancy. I'd ask the court to take that into consideration here. I would have turned those things in, but for the conversation, and I can do that immediately if the court would wish to give us another date. But given the nature of our conversation, I was between a rock and a hard place.
And if Ms. Richards is a high-risk pregnancy, then why is she testing positive for drugs?
Well, I think that would be between her and her physician.
Today is the 6th.
I'm sorry, Judge.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say this matter has been kind of rendered a little more difficult because she is in Muskegon, and we're here. We did find a testing facility there. There was no sign. It was actually in a law office. We do have some tests directly from her doctor. The crux of this is that there was an offer for use in this matter. This matter was actually charged after it occurred before, but it was charged after she successfully completed probation in Muskegon. I have documentation from Catholic Social Services there that indicates that she did her primary care and then has been continuing with aftercare studiously. That there's that as well. I don't think it's a matter of her trying to flaunt anything, but just there's a distance, there's financial issues, there's medical issues, and there's but I
on January.
Wait, now she wants to file a complaint against a lawyer because she didn't give him the paperwork on time. And that is honestly so bold, like she's blaming the one guy who was trying to keep her out of jail for her own laziness. And the lawyer is just standing there all awkward holding papers he didn't file because she was too busy. And is she really trash talking him? Because that is straight up self-sabotage 101 and day after day. It is just so annoying to watch defendants ruin things with their public defenders and then act shocked when their case starts falling apart. And this woman clearly takes zero responsibility and thinks everyone else is a problem. But yet tell me in the comments what you guys think about her.
Go ahead. But I'm just going to tell you, on January 26th, I approved that the defendant could test in Muskegon with results to community corrections. I don't have any results. I've been going back and forth, Mr. Gaddy, all along, and I don't know what her deal with your office. You're the only one that's been keeping her out of jail at this point. We further ordered that she could test in Muskegon. She needed to get the number to us. I signed a specific order that PD's office had done that regarding the modification of the location of her testing. We did that that was in late January. We then come through February still, and I don't have any tests. And she has continued not to test. And then I get a report on March 29th. So some period in time, I still at that point don't have any tests. No test, no test, no test. Again, gave her a break, didn't do it. And then all of a sudden, I get to March 30th, still don't have any tests. She's not here. And I issue a bench warrant. The bench warrant's been out since March 30th. Again, trying to get tests. Still don't have any tests. Nothing. We've just been continually putting it over. She decides she doesn't want to test. And then I all of a sudden get a test in April that indicates that she's then positive for THC. And then on the 24th of April, that the specimen has been diluted and there's been some adulteration of that specimen test. That was on the April 24th test.
Yes, Your Honor.
We were here on April 27th, and I still don't have tests.
Yes, Your Honor. As I said, I do have a test from May 3rd from her physician. I can forward that. I believe I also have tests dating back as far as last year that I received this afternoon. I also have like I said, a letter from Catholic Social Services. If perhaps, if I'm still on the case, I'd be happy to submit those things. If the court would consider setting this over for Thursday week, which I think is the next preliminary probable cause date, I can certainly send those documents.
Mr. Gaddy, I understand what you're indicating, and you've been trying to make sure to keep her out of jail, to do all of those things. Apparently, she doesn't appreciate that, doesn't appreciate what the court is saying, and wants to make her own rules. That's not how it works. So here's what's going to happen. Her bond is revoked. She needs to appear here. She needs to report to the Washtenaw County Jail by 6 p.m. on the 17th of May. That is tomorrow. Otherwise, a bench warrant will issue.
Your Honor.
With no bond.
Your Honor, can I say something?
You can say whatever you like.
I am due on June 5th, and they're taking me on May 28th to have my baby. And I have been testing. I have tested since I had that diluted screen.
I don't have any tests.
Your Honor, as I said, I can send those tests to the court. This is a unique situation. Had conversations. Well, anyways, as I said, I didn't want to do anything. If there was going to be new counsel, I didn't want to do anything that, it's kind of like do no harm.
Were submitted to the judge.
I'm sorry?
I thought you submitted all those papers to the judge, you and Camille, because I've been working with Camille through your office too.
That line was so cold, but honestly, it had to be said the judge has finally put his foot down because she's been acting like this whole process is optional. I mean, she keeps trying to talk over him and explain away months of mistests, but clearly he is totally done listening to excuses now, and it is kind of satisfying to see the power shift back to where it belongs because she really thought she was in charge here, which is honestly wild-like. I do not know if it looks this crazy to you. Guys too, but watching her look truly shocked that she might actually face consequences is both satisfying and kind of unbelievable at the same time. But yeah, honestly, the main question in this video is, do you guys think the judge is being fair, or is the 6 p.m. jail deadline too harsh for a pregnant woman? Because I already know a lot of you are going to think it's too harsh, so.
I'm going to keep my ruling the same. Her bond's revoked. If you want to send something in, you can send it to Ms. Kirby. I will be more than happy to look at it and reconsider. But
this was a straight up lesson on how not to act at a bond violation hearing. As we saw, the defendant tried to work the system using her pregnancy and a bunch of excuses, but the judge clearly saw through the months of ignoring calls and failed drug tests. I mean, honestly, giving her until 6 p.m. to fix everything was a pretty fair deal. In my opinion, it showed the judge was still trying to help her, even though her attitude was awful. But yeah, the truth is having a medical issue does not mean the law suddenly doesn't apply to you. So anyone out there dealing with health problems, you still have to be careful and follow the rules. And sure, It is a tough lesson for what she did or didn't do, however you want to say it.
Not playing by her rules anymore. We're going to play by mine. I've been as lenient as I possibly can, and I'm not going to sit here and be taken advantage of. Defendant's ordered to report to the Washington County Jail, 6 p.m. tomorrow. She doesn't report, that bench warrant goes back out, plain and simple. If you want to submit something before in between time, if you guys patch up your differences and she lets you do that, that's fine. Then I'll look at it and see what I can do. But otherwise, that's my order. That's the order that will stand.
Did you say,
Thank you.
I'm sorry, Judge, just for my clarification. Did you say by close of business tomorrow?
She's got to report to the jail by 6 p.m. tomorrow.
All right.
That's what I'm ordering. If you want to submit something to me before then I'll be more than happy to take a look at it and hear from you and the prosecutor on it. But otherwise, that's my order.
Thank you.
But everything has consequences in the real world, no matter what is going on in your personal life. But yeah, I really hope she gets the paperwork done for the baby's sake. Let me know in the comments what you guys thought about this court hearing. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Make sure to like and subscribe like always and take.